Robin, and this is my practice helping interaction video for HCFS 411. I'd like to thank my helpee for coming today, helping me out. Okay, so whatever you share with me today will be confidential, and your name will not be revealed on the tape or in my paper. If at any point you have reason to believe you are in danger to yourself or another person, I will be ethically required to break confidentiality.
Okay.
If this occurs, I will tell you that I need to break confidentiality. We'll immediately terminate the session to seek the appropriate professional assistance. Will you agree to have this video session recorded for about 20 minutes?
Yes.
Great. Previously, we discussed safe topics which are appropriate to address throughout the course of our conversation. As a reminder, a safe topic is a topic, not necessarily a problem, that has been identified as something you feel comfortable discussing in the context of this practice interaction. Remember, safe topics reflect personal issues that you feel strongly about and comfortable sharing. For the purpose of this class, these should not relate to world issues or political views. The safe topics we have discussed and approved for addressing our practice interactions are financial stressors, finding a new place to live, and school. So, knowing these, which one would you like to talk about today?
Financial stressors.
Okay, so what are some of the financial stressors that you have?
Well, one big one is credit card debt.
Okay, so what about your credit cards? What are you dealing with that?
Well, I just keep going over a set limit that I have.
Okay, so you've already set yourself a bit of a limit?
Yeah, just like myself.
What do you mean by that?
I would look at my online banking and I'd say to myself, okay, I'm not going to go over this amount.
Okay, so you continue to do it even though you've already set yourself a limit?
Yes.
Okay, why do you think you're going over that limit?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons I think is the vending machine at my shop.
Okay, well, do you use the vending machine a lot?
Yes.
Why do you use this a lot?
Well, I'm a Marine, and in the morning we have PT, which is physical training. I have to wake up around 4 o'clock in order to be at my barracks for PT at 5. From 5 to 7, we have PT. Then we have to be at the shop. Right after PT, we change and we go to shop. There's no time in between to get chow.
Okay.
But there is a vending machine at work. So I go in there every day, a couple times a day, and swipe my card and get something in the vending machine.
Okay. So it's just easier for you?
Yes.
It's much faster. Okay, so maybe have you tried thinking of steps? Maybe a step towards not using those vending machines? Maybe to make it easier on you so you don't get tempted to use them?
There are a couple steps. I could always wake up earlier and eat a bowl of cereal. I could set a budget. I could go out and use a spreadsheet and set my budget out like that, or I could go talk to someone in the Navy Fed.
Sure. So do you think these might be difficult?
Yeah. I'd say it would be difficult.
Why do you think it would be so difficult?
Well, all I have is my card because I have direct deposit. Now, say I take my card out of my wallet and leave it home, which could be a solution. But on the negative side, what if something happens and I need cash? Then my card's in my house.
Yeah.
So I'd be stranded without it, or I'd have to ask somebody.
So why do you think that would be difficult?
Well, I wouldn't have my card, or I'd have to take more time out of my day to figure out a way to not spend it or not have my card.
So you think it's just easier to go out and use your card. What about setting up that budget? Do you think that takes too much time?
Well, it would probably take some time, because I like to go out. It's not just the vending machine at work. I like to go out to eat because it's faster. I don't have to come home and cook anything. I like to go to Wendy's and get like a baconator meal. And that's like $10 there,
Yeah.
not including the gas that it takes to go back and forth, and it just keeps racking up.
Yeah. So does this worry you?
Yes,
What do you think that it leads to other stressors?
I do. Because if I say I go out and spend money on, I don't know, let's say I get food from like a fast food restaurant, there's like $15 there. Okay, so I'm driving home, I gotta get gas. There's about $30. Right there is $45. Alright, so I get paid every 2 weeks. Okay, and just in one day, I spent $45. So a way that could stress me out is when I go to bed or sleep, I'll just keep playing in my mind. So I won't be able to get to sleep. So the next day when I wake up, there goes the time and I need that I could like eat breakfast, because I'll be tired and groggy. I won't be focused and won't be as sharp as the night before, as if I don't spend money.
Okay. So do you use your cards for other finances that also puts on to that credit card and causes stress?
Yes. See, as Marines, we have our uniforms, and uniforms are very expensive. Not just, you have all sorts of different items: rank, covers, everything, boots, and all of these are so expensive. So say I'm working, and let's just say something happens and like my boot gets torn. Well, there's $120 right there. So if you add the 45 to the 120, that's $165 right there.
Yeah.
And that could all be one day. 165 just gone.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that it's frustrating. I understand that it's frustrating you. But you have steps that you think you could take. So maybe you can work on these steps. Maybe we can help you set up this budget. And what other, maybe do you think that you bring it home? What is it worrying you about? Like, why does it worry you?
Well, you see, I just don't want to put myself in debt. Because if you're in debt, then you wouldn't be able to get a new car. You won't be able to get a home. Say I want to get a loan for something. They deny it. Or they just have the interest rate or whatever skyrockets, so I'll be paying like 15% APR, which is outrageous.
Yeah. So not only are you racking up on the stress that this credit card is building, but you're also not able to get the other luxuries in life because of the simple things that you're buying with this credit card.
Yes. And say even if, I got rid of the credit card and I carried around cash. Cash, it burns a hole in my pocket. It's just, if I have it, I gotta spend it.
Yeah. So, what about, so your cash doesn't work for you, but setting up this budget, what if you set up this budget and you had the cash? Do you think that might help you? Instead of using your credit card, maybe you could take out the cash.
Well, I'm kind of in the middle between that. Because say I have the cash. Say I go and do what you said. Like, I take that set of cash out. Now, what's to say that I don't get to spend it on something else? Because I'm not thinking about it, Like, say I have so much cash set for, like, the week. Okay? And say I'm driving along and, like, a tire pops. Well, there goes some of that cash I had set for the week. So then, what am I going to do?
Okay. So, what else might worry you about this? Like you said, your tire might pop. So, does that worry you? I mean, you might not have the money to cover something like that because you're spending the money on these vending machines?
Well, I have to worry about a lot. I have to worry about the upkeep on the vehicle that I have. I have to worry about how presentable I look during work. We have a Marine Corps ball coming up, and the tickets alone are $80 just for myself. Now, if I were to take a date, that's another $80. It's it's hard for me not. You see how it's hard for me not to spend money on things.
Yeah, I hear that you're spending a lot of money, and I understand that you're spending what you're spending your money on. But you mentioned setting up this budget. So that's a step. But what other things could push you towards starting this budget?
Well, I could talk to someone who has been in the Marine Corps longer than I have and see how they dealt with it. Or I could go to we have a family readiness officer. She basically deals she gets you ready for a family, so I'm sure she'd be able to help me with debt or give me ways to clear my debt.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a chaplain. A chaplain, we could work one-on-one. He could call me every day, make sure I'm making sure I'm not spending money or just getting the basics of what I need.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the steps are there, and are you just nervous?
Yes. Well, like I said earlier, what if I have that set amount and something goes wrong? Or I leave my car at home, and say the tire pops, I got that set amount, and then it goes that money. What if I were to call maybe Fed and I said, okay, I only want this much on my credit card, and if I go over it, block it.
Mm-hmm.
But then something happens and they shut my card down. But I need to get the money.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's always a way where you can call them. You could call them and let them know that something has happened. So you're just nervous that something out of the blue is going to happen, you're not going to have the money.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what about when you so do you think that maybe cutting down on vending machines would help you if something were to happen like that? Because right now what I'm hearing is that you're nervous about cutting your credit card off because you're nervous that something's going to happen where you don't have enough money for it, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so do you ever worry that you spending your money on fast food or vending machines or other things, do you think that is what worries you? That's what worries you the most, because behind everything, something might pop like your tire and you don't have the money because you've been spending your money on the vending machines.
Yes, and it's not just that. It's the vending machines and fast food. It's just it's so much easier. It's going to the vending machine takes what? It takes about 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Get your card out, slide your card, and decide what you want. Now, say you wake up and you want to cook breakfast. You got one on the stove, get your eggs out, crack your eggs, do all that. That takes 15, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's time I don't have. Going to a fast food restaurant like Wendy's, I go in, I tell them what I want, I come home, I do the same thing. I have to warm up the stove, cook my chicken, unfreeze the veggies, all that. It's just, I don't have time for that.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that with this budget that you've talked about, maybe you can fit in that fast food, even though that's what's racking up your bills, but like you mentioned, you can section them. So you can cut off when you've met that spot. So even you can still continue to use the vending machines and get the fast food because it's easier for you, but you can also section it off. Do you think that might be a little bit easier to ease it in for you?
I think as long as, maybe if there was an app or something that I could pull up the budget sheet or whatever,
Sure.
and I could see it, every day. If say I was going to go to the fast food restaurant, and I get there and I pull up the budget, I'm like, oh, okay, so I can't afford to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
That way I'd know and I'd be able to walk out. So I think it would be easier.
If you had that app.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like I have an overall. You're worried about it. You don't want anything to get out of hand.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that maybe we can expand on this a little bit later. Well, I want to thank you for coming in and thank you for your time.
You're welcome.